There we go. Let's a little bit bigger. There we go. So here we go. Karl Jobst video.
Hello, you absolute legends. Can you believe it? It's already been more than a year since the Completionist and his family's decade-long charity scam was exposed last November. For those who need a quick refresher, between
Okay, so he's going to give a quick refresher, but let's go.
Between the years of 2014 and 2023, Jirard and his charity, the Open Hand Foundation, took in around $1 million of donations, money that they said was going to various charities focusing on dementia research.
Karl is exaggerating it a little bit. When they did the full research, it was $650,000. Just to be clear.
But over that entire time, the truth was that they hadn't donated a single penny and had kept everything. It was only after Mudahar and myself made our videos about the situation that the Open Hand Foundation finally donated some of the money, donating $600,000 to the AFTD. The Completionist public image was pretty much destroyed, and deservedly so. He had been lying for years, and after he was exposed, he took no accountability whatsoever. He made up excuses, made up lies, and more than anything was just angry at us for making the public aware of what he was doing. And it didn't take long for the Completionist to return to YouTube and continue making content. After his terrible response video, he just moved on and acted as if this entire charity scandal never happened.
I'll make myself bigger just for a little bit. The point is, they went through the documents of the foundation and they saw the money was just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. And by the time they kind of investigated, things were in motion, and Khalil and his family, who control this charity, donated the money. You saw $600,000. By the way, that means there's another 50,000 left, but we'll put that aside. Why did Khalil lie, or what was the lie that created this scam, you can call it? The fact that he said that he was on stream and he said all the subs, bits, all the different donations, t-shirts that they were selling is going to the foundation. And Mudahar and Karl went through the money and nothing kind of added up, which means the subs that you get on Twitch were not actually going to the foundation. Same goes with the bits. That's actual money. They didn't know anything about any shirts or any other merchandise, and that was a bit sus. Let's get back to the video.
And his family moved on and didn't care whatsoever either. They even held another golf charity event several months later. This was immediately after it was already proven that for years the golf charity money had never even made it to the Open Hand Foundation.
And that's the other facet of this foundation, the fact that his father was running this golf tournament. They had listed different sponsors and how much they donated. And when Mudahar and Karl did the math, it really didn't add up. What it did kind of expose was the fact that everything that this charity, the golf tournament, was doing didn't end up in the actual foundation, but they couldn't prove anything. So they left that question up hanging.
Family was keeping everything. But then, around 4 months ago, the Completionist disappeared. And there might be a good reason for this. The Completionist production company, That One Video Entertainment LLC, is in huge trouble. I've never spoken about this, but for the past 2 years, the Completionist company has been engaged in a frivolous lawsuit against the biggest GTA Online roleplay server, NoPixel, basically trying to extort them for half of their company. And in October, they lost. And now Jirad's company may have to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars in attorney's fees.
That I didn't know. Wow. If you don't know, GTA 5 has an online component, or maybe you do. GTA 5 is one of the most profitable games that Rockstar has. The online component gives them hundreds of millions of dollars in different purchases and everything that goes on. NoPixel is a company that runs a private server. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were running the server with a lot of Twitch streamers that were playing this role-playing game with each other. And it kind of went completely offhand. But comment section down below, like, tell me if I'm wrong. But I know NoPixel as the one that is running this mega server of like role-playing. And it's, by the way, it's stupidly serious, as in, if you're playing a cop, you're playing a cop and you're trying to prevent crime. If you're a criminal, you're definitely trying to make criminal. There's criminal organizations, mafia, all that stuff. It is crazy.
And the cherry on top of all of this is that it appears as though the Open Hand Foundation might now be under investigation by the IRS.
Oh,
What's been happening? And in today's video, we will take a quick look. I really hope you enjoy. Now, Legends, a huge shout out to...
Okay, I'm gonna switch over. It's a promo. Karl, I love you, Karl Jobst. I love you, but I'm not gonna give a free promo. But the link will be in the description. So if you watch this video, watch the entire promo. It's gonna make up some money. Link in the description. You'll find the link in the description for this game in his description. So let us do this.
And iOS.
Before we start today's video, I want to recognize that I know that I have lost a lot of your trust at home.
Never make an apology video.
And I want to spend as much time as it will take to rebuild and re-earn your trust.
Because when you say things like that, it makes people who don't trust you even more. Never make an apology. You want to continue getting trust out of people? Just make entertaining videos.
It's going to take time, but I'm willing to put in the commitment, and I hope you give me a chance.
This is what Jirard said back in January when he returned to YouTube less than 2 months after his charity scam was exposed. I have no idea what he meant when he said that he wanted to re-earn your trust, because after this statement, he continued to pretend that nothing ever happened and he never spoke of it again.
Karl, that's exactly what you do. If you make a mistake, I don't know, you don't make an apology video, man. You don't. You just continue moving. If you want to apologize, there's Twitter, Instagram, there's social media. Just say you're sorry. There's a community tab. I'm sorry for what you've heard. I don't think blah 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 blah. If you feel like you don't want to watch this anymore, I bid you farewell and goodbye. Never make an apology video. Never, ever, ever.
For the next 8 months, Jirard would continue to post videos to his channel, hoping to resuscitate his brand. The quality, however, was now greatly diminished because most of his employees either quit or he let them go. And then in August,
you let them go.
He released a video about alien isolation and hasn't been seen since. But while Jirard was pretending that everything was hunky-dory on the surface, behind the scenes, shit was hitting the fan. For the past year, many people, including myself, have been waiting for the Open Hand Foundation to file their 2023 IRS tax forms.
Oh boy, let's see what's going on with that form. I've been waiting too because it kind of tells you, because they donated after the whole scam kind of broke out. That was November of 2023. And they donated a few weeks later, I think about 2 weeks later. So the scam kind of broke early November. I think they donated around 26 of November. So it's going to be on the 2023 paperwork that they served, which they served on 2024. But by the time it gets uploaded, blah, 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 you're going to see it late 2024.
Personally, I wanted to see if anything changed after they got exposed. Were they suddenly going to start properly declaring their income now that so many eyeballs were focused on their charity? Well, what's interesting is that the Open Hand Foundation hasn't filed their 2023 IRS tax form.
I need a better soundboard, but that's close, right? sorry. That's a little bit, cringy.
Despite it being long past the deadline, if you search the charity through the Office of the Attorney General, it says their reporting is incomplete and the IRS form is required. This hasn't happened in any other year. The Open Hand Foundation have always filed their forms on time. So it's very peculiar that at a time where it's more important than ever to be transparent, they aren't reporting.
I'm sorry I'm stopping this so many times. It's been only 5 minutes since the start of the video. That is crazy. Now, they could have filed with a little bit stuff missing, and the IRS was like, this is missing some stuff, so refile this, get an extension. That's no problem.
Of course, there are multiple possible reasons why they aren't submitting their forms. The most obvious would be they haven't yet done their 2023 accounting, but it could also mean they are currently being audited by the IRS. Personally, I think it's the latter, given how many people reported the charity after the scandal broke. Another piece of evidence to support the fact they are being audited is that it does appear they have already done their 2023 accounting. So there doesn't seem to be any other legitimate reason not to file. We know they've done their 2023 accounting because as part of their 2024 annual charity registration to the Office of the Attorney General, they needed to state their revenue and expenses for the previous year.
Okay, so this is important. I'm not sure he's going to mark it later. I know premature stopped this, but this is really important. So they filed for not the actual taxes, but they filed for their, continuing license to keep that 401. I don't remember the name of it, but 401(k), I think. Tell me in the description down below. So this is really important, and I'm pretty sure you don't see my cursor, but let's see. So total revenue is 155,356, that 155,000-ish. Total assets 199,344, so 199,000, which means if they did 155, there's about 44,000 extra dollars left. And total expenses, 611,000. I'm pretty sure the 600,000 expenses was actual donation, and the 11,000 is administrative cost and all that stuff. Which, if you saw the previous video when they talk about the scams and Mudahar went through all these different forms, the expenses are between 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 11,000, depending on which year. So it's pretty consistent.
Which they did. And this is where things get very interesting.
And he did highlight it, of course.
This form doesn't give us any breakdown like the IRS tax forms would, but it does give us a few basic figures. It says that in 2023, the Open Hand Foundation raised $155,000. This is significant because it's by far the most revenue the organization has ever reported in a single year. The previous highest total was back in 2021, when they raised $136,000, but that was under very different circumstances, so let's compare. In 2021, Jirard's fundraiser Indieland received $113,000 in donations just through Tiltify alone. The charity also...
And Tiltify is a company that does the whole getting your charity thing going, and that is something that they could not forge. So that's how they kind of reached to that's how Karl and Mudahar got to the figures where the golf tournament doesn't contribute as much to the funds going into Open Hand.
Received a $25,000 grant from Jamie Lee Curtis's charity, Syzygy. Just these two income sources alone already amount to more than the $136,000 they reported, which means all of the bits, subs, merch sales, and all of the golf charity money simply vanished. Jirard's company or his family just took the rest. And this pattern of money vanishing continued from the years 2019 all the way through to 2022, a total of 4 years. And the money that went missing probably totaled several $100,000. But in 2023, after the public realized Jirard's family was stealing money, suddenly everything changed. In 2023, Indieland only raised $64,000 in donations through Tiltify. This is $50,000 less than in 2021, and yet magically,
I want to say something, but I'll let Karl finish the stats.
2023 was the Open Hand Foundation's best year ever, raising $20,000 more than they did in 2021. It is a miracle. By the grace of God, the Khalil family has finally learned how to properly report.
So these are all the numbers. I'm pretty sure I'm blocking a little bit, but not all of them. So 2020, 81, 2021, you can see the numbers. Anyway, the most important number is that $155,000 because Tiltify got him $64,000. I'm pretty sure Indieland was after the scam, or was it before or after the scam? The drop must be because Bidenomics. No, I'm just kidding. No politics. I'm pretty sure it was after Karl Jobst and Mudahar's videos. So they did have an impact because a lot of people, at least half, or not half, about a third of the people were like, nah, no way.
Their income. It's amazing. We already knew that Jirard and his company were stealing money before, but this most recent accounting is just the nail in the coffin. It is so brazenly obvious that once they were exposed, they decided it would be unwise to continue skimming off the top. And as a result, despite last year being one of Indieland's worst performing years ever by far, the Open Hand Foundation was more profitable than it's ever been. Another interesting thing about this form is that it shows the Open Hand Foundation is still holding on to $200,000. And this is before their 2024 golf charity event, where they would have collected even more in donations.
Wait a minute. Did I read that form incorrectly? So the 199 is what's left in the coffers? That means they had... Because you have to remember, it didn't say that on screen, but before all this mess, on the 2022 form, the only form that Karl and Mudahar could look at and do any comparison to, the form said it had $655,000 on the charity left after all expenses, after everything, so total assets. I read that thing wrong. Again, I'm pretty stupid, but that's nothing new. I'm old as fuck, and I don't read stuff correctly. So 199 is what's left after the 611,000 were out? That is extremely suspicious.
Why are they still keeping this money? One thing I've come to realize is that while Jirard may have been very concerned with his public image, his family, specifically his brother and father, couldn't care less. This is why back in May they continued running their golf charity tournament as if nothing ever happened. If you look at the Open Hands website now, Indieland has been removed as one of the charity events, leaving only the golf tournament. And the golf event was never something that Jirard was a part of organizing. And it's why the Open Hand Foundation now feels comfortable going back to hoarding donations, because the public backlash that was originally directed at Jirard now has nowhere to go. When the Open Hand Foundation made their $600,000 donation after the story initially broke, they still had $200,000 sitting in the bank. And this is only from the reported income. As I said before, I suspect Jirard's family has siphoned hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the charity over the years. But I can't think of a single good reason why they still need to keep $200,000 in the bank, when their expenses average around $10,000 to $15,000 per year. And literally the only purpose of the charity is to be a middleman between Good Samaritans and charities that actually do dementia research. And
that's actually important, and it wasn't really explained. The foundation that they are running is just collecting money without any tax. They can't really invest it, but they just collect money and then moving them on to actual charities or research facilities that need the money.
As I said before, the lack of filing to the IRS is a pretty good indication the charity is now under investigation, and I really do hope this is the case. But the IRS isn't the only thing Jirard now has to worry about, because Jirard's company That One Video Entertainment has just lost a huge lawsuit.
Yeah, tell me about the lawsuit,
That One Video
Carl.
Entertainment LLC is the company that Jirard created in 2012 that all of his business activities fall under, including...
And if I ever, well, I will never earn enough money off of YouTube. That is never going to happen. But I will have to make an LLC just to protect myself. But yeah.
Including all of his YouTube channels and his charity event, Indieland. I will be calling it TOVE for short. On Jirard's LinkedIn page, he states he is the owner, president, and CEO of TOVE. And in April of 2023, TOVE sued...
Wait a minute. Oh, I was looking at something else. It says I was looking at NBC Universal and I didn't read the host of G4 TV, RIP.
President and CEO of TOVE. And in April of 2023, TOVE sued GTA Online's most well-known role-playing server, NoPixel. NoPixel is owned by Coil Content Creation Proprietary Limited, which was started by a fellow Aussie, Mitchell Clout, otherwise known online as Coil. If you follow The Completionist, but don't follow GTA Online role-playing, you've probably never heard of this lawsuit. And
Exactly.
even if you probably have the wrong idea about who is suing who. And that's because the reporting on this lawsuit has been abysmal and full of misinformation. It all started in May 2023, when a user posted the lawsuit to Reddit, claiming that DW was suing NoPixel. DW was a developer that worked for NoPixel for several years, but he and NoPixel's owner Coil had a falling out in December of 2022, and DW ended his relationship with the server. The day after this
The plot thickens?
viral Reddit post, Dexerto signal boosted the story, with the headline, former GTA RP NoPixel server dev DW is suing owner Coil for considerable sum. However, this was all completely false. It wasn't DW that was suing NoPixel, it was the completionist company, TOVE. It literally says who the parties are on the...
Oh my God. In the past 4 years, or at least in the past 4 years that I've delved deep into this, I've been watching a lot of these online lawyers. Not Legal Eagle, by the way. And I don't need to know all the ins and outs, but if I see like not a report, but a case, I can download it. It's a PDF file. You can see who is against who. Now, if it's an LLC, you don't actually know you might know the name of the people who work in that LLC, but you don't know the name of the LLC because normally you just know the name of the YouTuber or company, whatever. That is hilariously easy to read.
The first page of the lawsuit. I don't understand how everyone got this wrong.
Lawsuit case. That's what it's called. Holy hell.
TOVE's lawsuit asserted that because DW developed some code for the NoPixel servers and DW was an employee of TOVE, this meant that TOVE owned the code that DW developed, and thus TOVE should own half of NoPixel. But this entire lawsuit was a shakedown and an extortion attempt from day one. It was all bullshit.
What? So DW worked for NoPixel. He wrote a code, then he left because of a dispute, went to work for TOVE, so that means the completionist company, and then they're suing NoPixel for that code? Are you out of your goddamn mind? I'm looking to the camera right now. I'm dead serious. If you work at a company and you work on their product, and then you leave the company, you don't own the product, even though you could have worked from it from 0 to 100. It's in the contract when you sign off to work. It's not an art piece. It's a product. Are you out of your goddamn mind? What lawyer? Well, they probably got a lawyer and the lawyer said, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. And they shook him down for hundreds, maybe even just tens of thousands of dollars just to serve this lawsuit. Holy shit. You got duped by your own lawyer. Oh my God.
Shit. We are talking Billy Mitchell levels of frivolous. Everything about this lawsuit was a lie, and it's going to take a separate and quite lengthy video to cover everything in detail.
You don't need another video of detail. I just told you what you can and cannot do. Just the unmeeting, just the gall that you have to even submit that suit is insane. And of course, your lawyer will submit the suit. You pay him.
But if you thought that charity was the only scam that Jirard and his company were pulling, you couldn't be more wrong.
There's more. We're less than 1 minute away.
Needless to say, this lawsuit never made it to trial. In October, the judge ruled in favor of NoPixel, and now NoPixel is seeking attorney's fees of $233,000.
Holy shit! $200,000, basically 130, because it's 222 plus 10. Yowza!
And they are probably going to get it. Unlike most other lawsuits in America, when you sue specifically for copyright infringement, it's actually built right into the statute that you can get attorney's fees if you win. And because Tove's lawsuit was so frivolous, and the judge didn't even see a need to go to trial before ruling in NoPixel's favor, Tove is probably going to have to pay up big time. As soon as the judge makes a ruling on the motion for attorney's fees, I will do a full breakdown of this lawsuit, because it really proves that Jirard's shady behavior surrounding his charity was not an isolated event. Until then, thank you so much for watching, you legends. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.
Wow. Whew. It's not even the conclusion. I thought it was a conclusion to the entire story. Once Karl Jobst gets his video done and out, I will check it out again. That was insane. And by the way, I will also link in the description down below the first and second video that Karl did for to just break down this entire story. If you want to dive deep into the story, it goes further, and he elaborates on all the stuff that he didn't elaborate over here, and kind of did a quick TLDR for it.
Scrolling through the trash, can't believe my eyes. Worthless vids, man, no surprise. Stupid thumbnails, faces all deranged. Looking for gold, all I find is strange.